So the big question is this: how do small businesses like yours, who feel like you're doing all the right things and going to all the right events, reach the federal buyer in a way that helps you win more contracts? That is the question, and this is the place to get your answers. My name is Neil McDonnell. Welcome to the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let's get started. One of the best ways to get into an agency and start developing your experience is through subcontracting. While you can try to connect with large firms, small businesses and those with similar socioeconomic designations are best. For example, if you're a woman-owned small business, you'd want to work with other woman-owned small businesses since first, they can relate to you, and second, if you can work together, you can take advantage of similarly situated entities. You can watch a video on similarly situated entities later, but for now, let's focus on how to find prime teaming partners. This content is brought to you by the GovCon Chamber of Commerce, the only organization dedicated to the success of all small businesses in the federal space, with members from Guam to the U.S. Virgin Islands and every single state in between. Each year, roughly $125 billion is awarded to small businesses as prime contractors. Our vision is to double that number by helping small businesses truly understand the process for success. Small businesses are the backbone of America. By helping you succeed further in government contracting, we'll be helping American communities. My name is Neil McDonnell, and I've been where you are now. I've been a small business owner for 20 years, building 2 successful firms selling to the federal government. I've won subcontracts with small and large prime contractors. I've won prime contracts with defense and civilian agencies. I've done things right and I've gotten things wrong. The one thing missing though for me then and you now is an easy to follow process that'll lead to predictable success. That's my commitment to you. I'll provide the process. If you accept responsibility and don't blame others, you'll find you have the control to change your future. In this post, I want to give you a quick introduction on how to find teaming partners that are fellow small businesses. There are many ways, but this is a great first step to take. One thing to keep in mind, this is not a training post. It's an introduction post to help you realize a path you might not have known existed. We're going to use USASpending.gov to find these teammates. So let's switch over to a browser and begin to walk through. Okay, this is USASpending's website. I'm not going to go again into too much training, but if I go from here up on the top menu, you see award search and advanced search. We want to click on this. It brings us to the filters that'll filter down all the data that's stored in USASpending.gov. The first thing I want to do is just look at the last fiscal year and the current fiscal year, so FY21 and 20. The other thing I want to do is I want to come down here and choose the agency. So we're obviously looking at Coast Guard. I'm going to do the funding agency, the people who have the money. And I'll just type in Coast, and I get Coast Guard down here as a sub-agency as part of the Homeland Security Department. I'll select that so it's in my filter. The next thing I want to do is recipient, but I want recipient type. I'm looking for small businesses. So here under the business section, I'll select small, and that's it. Come back up here and submit search. And now you'll see that I've got the time period for fiscal 21 and 20. I've got the Coast Guard and I've got small business, and that gives me 10,000 items. That's a lot of items, but I'm going to show you how to just quickly download it. So let me hit refresh for a second because the download button's not working. There it goes. So now I've got these Coast Guard companies that are small businesses for the last 2 years. I'm going to hit download. This might take a second, but basically what I'm looking for is awards here, which is everything wrapped together. And then here again, it says, what kind of data do you want? I want all data. You can come back and pause these videos. I did that fairly fast so I could get the save file on the bottom left. If you notice that zip file is loading, it's done. I'm going to hit open file here. Now that's loading right now, and it'll take a minute to load. So when it comes up, the first thing I like to do, and this is again just really fast, so it's for me, first thing I like to do is come up here to the view, and freeze the top row. So then whenever I scroll down, I always see the header. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to come back to the home tab and select the filter tool. So now any one of these guys I can choose what to select. So for example, which year do I want to choose? Any of that stuff. It just gives me filters. The next thing I want to do is just expand this data a little bit. There is so much data in here that is not relevant to what we're talking about today, but when you get a chance, you want to come in here and look at it. So I'm going to come over really quick. There's a couple of things I want to filter out. So let's pick our NAICS for one. So I'm going to kind of come up to A1 here, the cell, and hit Control F, and I'm going to type in NAICS and see if I can find that. There we go. Perfect. So it brought me to the NAICS code. Here, I'm going to select the NAICS I want. So I'm going to turn that guy off. I missed my thing there. I'll turn him off, spread it out a little bit so I can see. I guess I could have searched on the bar there, but what I'm really looking for is, let's say 541, 511, and 512, right? That's the type of business I do, and those are the NAICS codes my work tends to be under. So I'm going to choose that, and you'll notice maybe on the bottom right, you see 173 out of 11,000 companies records that are in there. So what I want to do next now is choose SDVOs. So let me do another Control F, and let's call it, let's try service or disabled. There you go. Good. So now what I want to do is filter on service disabled veteran-owned businesses. I want to see only the trues. So it's got an F and a T, which stands for false and true, meaning no, it's not a service disabled. That's false and true. Yes, it is a service disabled veteran-owned business. So I'm going to choose that. And right away, I noticed that I just went down to 24 businesses, right? And so in here, my next thing, usually what I do is filter it out. And I'll do another example in a second just to show you. Let me choose, let me find DUNS. There we go, recipient done. So I'm moving kind of fast. You can come back and pause this later. But I'm looking at these companies. I'm going to sort it alphabetically so I can see this. And now I'm able to see, for example, I would have filtered out. So I'm only looking at non-duplicates. And anyways, this is so small, I can quickly do that myself. Actually, let me do that for you so you see what it's like. If you come up here to data, I can come over here and say remove duplicates under the data tools on the data tab. So remove duplicates. When I do, I can deselect everything. And here I want to come down to the recipient's DUNS. So not the parent DUNS, right there. I don't care about the name because there might be duplicate names, but the DUNS is unique to everybody. So I'm going to say only show me one of these. Remember, we had 24 records. Now we have 11. So it's got to, don't worry about this message, but the bottom left tells me I have 11 records, and I can see now these are the companies that are, these are the companies that are service disabled, veteran-owned small business. They're in a similar NAICS, or they've been awarded contracts in a similar NAICS in the last 12 to 18 months. And I can now begin to go research them online. In here, these guys actually do a good job grabbing some contact information. So you could grab their phone number and email address somewhere over here to the right. I can't remember what it is. There you go. Recipient phone number and some other details that are in here. But what I actually would recommend you do, let me bounce back over here really quick. Here, DUNS. What I would do is go into DSBS, and inside of DSBS, you would look at these companies to see at what level are they, right? Are they a small business service disabled veteran owned? Are they woman owned? Are they 8A? You do a little bit of research on them and their website, and then reach out to the owners. The beauty of DSBS, and let me just show you as an example here. Okay, so I opened up DSBS here, the Dynamic Small Business Search Tool. And if I come down here, you will see, and I should have done this a minute ago, but you'll see the DUNS number. So now when I paste this, it'll come back and tell me who this company is. So Keith, it looks like the main point of contact, might even be the owner. Often in DSBS, what you find is the owner is listed. When you're a small business, it's great to reach out to other small business owners. As a company gets bigger than, let's say, $20 million a year, they might have more senior leadership in there that are appropriate for you to talk to. But here I can look really quick, and I know Keith was the name. I look down here and I see, it's funny, it's saying current principal, Kenneth Page and Keith Page, but basically I could tell that that's the owner, because otherwise there wouldn't just be one name in there. I can see the company's website, so I can go visit that right there in the middle. And then a couple of other things, I can see their labor categories. So this is the GSA schedule. If I wanted, I could click on that. By looking at their schedule, I can look at their labor category rates. This is a quick way to just look into partners that are in there and be able to tell Keith I did some of my homework before I called you. Looking in here, I can see that he's a veteran, small business disadvantaged. Coming down, okay, so Keith was on an 8A in the 8A program a long time ago, and he's not now, but he's still in the Coast Guard. I mean, he's still relevant. In a minute, I'll come back. And this is all public information I'm just sharing. So I'm coming down, not a hub zone. Where did the hub zone go? There you go. Not a hub zone. Some basic other stuff. I see this CISSP, meaning cybersecurity. So that's good. This one's interesting, 3PAO. I'm not positive, but I wonder if that's the new CMMC and that he's engaged in that at some level. But here I can tell he's in system security and engineering, et cetera. Here's some keywords down here. And then down here, he doesn't have any real data, which is fine for me. If I go back now, so I had that DUNS number, right, from this company. If I come back here and do a whole nother advanced search, let me just reset the search really quick. Here, I'm going to say, I want to research Keith's company, and I hit enter and I search. Now I can see the first thing I'm going to do is look at time. I want to see how Keith's been doing. So he's about a $6 million firm. He did the typical 8A path where he began to have success. Actually, he had success out of the 8A program, which is great. And then he had a little drop off, and then he's coming back up. The reason this might be valuable, like one of my customers is in the DoD space, and they're pretty big, but they want to get into DHS. They're pretty big, small, and they want to get into DHS. This allows us to know, hey, Keith, maybe we could work together and you could help us get into DHS, meet some contracting officers, maybe team up on a couple of projects that you're in there and you've proven yourself to the government. And we'd be willing to introduce you to our customers or even bring you in some of our stuff. So that's just a quick snapshot of the dollars that he's making. And if I come back here to the category, the next thing is I can see right away all of his money, except for some small little opportunities, were in DHS, which is perfect. And if I really want to dig into it, because you remember this was the Coast Guard, I can look here and I can see that a big chunk of what he made, 12 million, was coming out of the Coast Guard. I'm actually not familiar with the procurement operations, and I'd be curious on where that work was coming from. But anyways, this is a good little insight. All I did when I came through here is took out the data from the USASpending on who's done business at the Coast Guard, put a couple of filters in that you can go back and watch this video again and see what I did. But basically coming down and looking at the names of the companies and then doing a little research. I could have done this if I wanted to reach out to an 8A firm, for example, and said, hey, we're an SDVO, but you're an 8A. We'd love to work together. So if there's some set-asides that are SDVOs, we can work there. Or if they're 8As, maybe we can team up and come in together. You know how to build the relationships. Here in this video, in this post, I'm just trying to show you, how do you find these people and how do you begin to find their information to reach out to? All of this I did in hopefully, let's call it a 5 to 15 minute video. But let's say you spend 1 hour and you've identified 11 possible companies. Imagine if you were spreading it further. For example, 541, 590 or something. You added additional NAICS codes. I filtered it down really tight. So anyways, you can find people here. This is a great way to find teaming partners. Who's at an agency that you want to go work with and begin to knock on doors and say, could we chat? Okay, that wraps up that quick video. If you found this information valuable, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let's other people find it. If you'd like to connect with me personally, do so on LinkedIn. We often do free training webinars and interview federal buyers. Make sure to sign up for the GovCon Chamber's email list to be notified about these opportunities at www.govconchamber.com. Finally, please consider becoming a sustaining member of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. I'm Neil McDonnell, wishing you great success.